It could happen at your place, a cell phone tower on your boundary, and the law says you can't do anything to stop it. But this tower on the corner of Taimata Road and Durham Drive in Havelock North took 2 years to install thanks to the neighbourhood battling back. More than 60 residents met when they found out about the tower, but it seemed there was nothing they or local councillors could do. There were worries it was for the 5G spectrum, which some believe is dangerous despite science saying it is safe.
They said that they were preparing the site, that they were moving forward, that they were going to be doing the next part of the stage of erecting the tower. One of the residents' son just happened to drive past and said a few things out of his car window. Then one of the contractors said something back. The next thing, the guy pulls over, gets out of his car, starts walking over to the guy. More words were said. I had my back to everything that was going on, but heard what was happening. Next thing, a fence was tipped over. And so I just turned around and, without thinking, just actually ran to the melee, to the situation that was going on, and sort of grabbed the guy who had originally got out of his car and dragged him away from the situation.
Police arrived but couldn't find anyone involved in the fight. Spark backed down from building the tower, conceding more neighbours could have been notified and agreeing to review its procedures. It said the tower was needed for anticipated demand from the Rugby World Cup. 2 years later, and with demand exceeding capacity, Spark installed the new tower last month. With security firms watching over, there were no stoushes this time.
Do you think you're being treated fairly?
No, certainly not. It had been planned before we bought the place. We didn't actually know, we weren't notified that it was going ahead. This whole thing's been an absolute mess for the last 2 years. The fact that it's going ahead now doesn't change the original reason for having some opposition to it.
Spark's Hawke's Bay representative in this matter is Lisa Eplett. She works in sales but volunteered for the role because she felt it was important a local resident deal with aggrieved locals.
There were a couple of residents that felt like that we weren't doing the right thing, and so while we were permitted to do this work without consulting with them, we chose to pause and try and work with them to find a way through some of the objections that they had. And we looked at multiple locations, some of them which the residents suggested, and we also changed the design of the tower ultimately to be a more discreet tower than we were originally going to install, so it's a bit narrower. I understand and empathise with the few residents that have really found this process a challenge for them, and understand it's been challenging, and it's taken a couple of years for us to get to a point where we've made a decision and progressed.
Eplett said engineers considered 7 alternative sites in the area, but kept coming back to the controversial site.
We definitely have learnt lessons, so working with the community and helping them understand not so much what we are doing but why it is important to do, and the areas that it needs to be done. We could have communicated that more effectively up front.
So all telcos can just pop up a cell phone outside any house, is that right?
There's regulations we need to comply with that are set by government, and as long as we adhere to those and get a code of compliance from the local council, then yes, we can put up towers, and that's what we need to do to ensure that New Zealanders can connect with the people they need to connect with. There definitely was some misinformation about it, whether it was a 4G or a 5G tower. So it was never designed as a 5G tower, and it hasn't been installed as a 5G tower, it's 4G.
And could it be switched on as becoming a 5G tower?
It's not on our upgrade plan at the moment, so we are rolling out some 5G into Hastings in the coming months. Havelock North is not part of that upgrade plan. We do review that on a regular basis, but at this stage it's not on the plan.
The New Zealand Ministry of Health says 5G is safe, no different than 3G or 4G. Havelock North, one of the most affluent parts of Hawke's Bay, will not be as well connected as other parts of the regions without 5G. And that's fine for the residents near the corner tower.
Will there be another protest if it gets switched to 5G?
If we hear about it, we will. It's a matter of whether they can do it without us seeing it, and I believe they can.
We're working on the rules that apply in this situation because it means that if they wanted to, they could put one outside every house in New Zealand, and what we're trying to do is to get some rational thinking about the potential of that sort of thing happening.
Fuchs and his wife moved into their corner house to downsize for retirement. Both have since been hospitalised and say they've been told their illnesses could be stress-related. They're home now, where they're expected to mow the roadside berm beside the tower, which had been fenced off for 2 years. Fuchs says he is neither willing nor able to mow the lawn. Patrick O'Sullivan, Local Focus.